So sometimes I hesitate to talk too much about the plants, but I figure people are interested, be interested, and you know what? Those people who are not interested should be interested. Our relationship with plants has to do with our future on the planet, our relationship with our food, everything. This over here is a nopal behind me. Nopal. Like if you were against Paul, you'd be nopal. Nopal, not invited. This is a this is a nopal. There's multiple kinds. I have 4 species as far as I know. It's sometimes hard to tell because things are spread out. This is a really great one because it doesn't have very big spines on it, and it has a really blood red fruit. The fruits are different. They're all different. Some of them are bitter, some of them are sweet, some of them you can ferment, some of them you can make mead, and prickly pear mead. They call them prickly pears, the tunas. Tuna is not a fish. Anyway, here's a bird of paradise. Look at that guy. That's growing with no water in a very nice spot. It obviously likes this spot. It likes this next to a stone wall. It's interesting because that heats up at the morning heat. So we look at exactly where each plant thrived, and then we want to put them in similar places like that and more of them in that place. That's a tree that's not interesting. We should cut it out of there. Also, I don't like trees next to a cistern. The roots will damage the thing. A lot of these succulents are ready to be divided. This is papyrus, which the Egyptians used to make paper out of, and I'm blown away it can survive without water here. Maybe somebody did water it, a bucket of water once or twice, but here's another nopal over here. You can see the baby leaves coming out, the little new pads, and those are better. They're tastier. They're softer. Although each nopal is slightly different, right? Not only in the fruit, but also in the. Oh, it's been dry out here. Damn. In all aspects. Damn, this is like. There's one of these spiky aloe family plants in there. It's in the aloe family. Super easy to reproduce. This is the skinniest, thirstiest I've ever seen it looking. We have not gotten the right rains. It's all about the rain here. We need more rain. So my goal is to keep learning how to do things with less rain, because I think there's going to be less rain. I'm hoping that there'll be a ton more rain. Like climate change can bring more rain in some magic way. I really want that to happen. I've envisioned it. But just because you think something in your head doesn't mean that's the way it is. And the signals are, it's been dry, it's been drier, and we better prepare for pretty dang dry. So good luck to us all, and good luck to you wherever you're at. Out here also we have a red hot poker. Haven't had a lot of success reproducing those. Wouldn't mind a few hundred. We've arrived at a spot here. I guess this whole video's right around here. These are stone stairs. They go up to the lodge. Not a lot of people even use this route since everything's over there on the terrassa. But what it's become is a vivero for cacti. Cacti like to live here. They like to live in a spot among kind of these stonework things. And they like to live in pots, at least here. And so my goal, since I've had success, this is like a little vivero just for cacti. And there's Hiawatha here. We've divided them. We don't do perfect at collecting all the seeds. We don't have special reproduction areas good enough. We have a little bit. And so I really want to make specialized spaces for this amazing family of plants, succulents, cacti, and get better at doing them by seed, get better at propagating massively by division, and then create an outdoor space somewhere that is exactly the right balance of what they want. Somewhere pretty stable where we know, the trees aren't going to block something later. We have some control over the space, and then get the cacti into there, and maybe more than one, but like basically at least some small cacti gardens, because we've got this one space here. But the question is, how can we outside of pots, in perhaps a place with some rocks and sand, and how can we build a cactus garden that really takes care of itself, but that we have the right kind of little paths to get in there and collect their seeds, and so that then we have whole probably greenhouses. I'm against greenhouses, but cacti are fairly sensitive. We can't have a lot of cacti come out of a small greenhouse, but with trays and stuff of seeds with the right medium, and that's the part in which we have to get way more scientific and really look at what's our germination rate, because some of these cacti don't produce very many seeds, so they're kind of difficult. They're like really difficult, and so they require special effort, because there's just thousands of species of cacti, many of which are endangered, and we could actually have a collection here of actively reproducing endangered species things. That's my goal with that. So why, I don't know. Hi Coco baby, you're such a cutums. I guess just I'm trying to be a do good things, make more life. So, yeah, I already talked about that thing. Guess done for the moment. See ya. Well, what are you expecting? You expecting belly rub? Yeah. Good boy. All right, I gotta go. Let's go do things. Yep. So the View building has another room over there. It's a library and it has a bed in it. It's a king-size bed. And so the lodge hosts could probably live in there. Who are the lodge hosts? Well, I don't really want to rent stuff out, like luxury places. One guy just told me if I invest $50,000 into a nicer place, I can rent it out for this many hundreds of dollars and stuff a night. And basically my customers would be like just here for the experience, and I would need to serve them. I don't really wish to do that. I've never been in the service industry. I wish to give people what I wish to give them, and I wish to attract people who have what I want to give. And so the idea of luxury eco resort stuff has no appeal to me whatsoever. So what I have are systems here, and I'm building that system slowly. I'm trying to make it better, of course. I want to build better composting toilets. I want to build better everything. I want to build a Wally Peony. I want to build, which is like a sunken greenhouse, except that I have a whole different vision for it. It's really nuts. I've written about it online. I want to build a lot of stuff. Anyway, but I got to work with what I got. In this building, I have a room upstairs that's awesome. I have a room that's downstairs. I think they both have king-size beds. Maybe one has a queen. I forget. But the point is there could be two couples living in here, and this is what I would like to have happen. They got to be really tough couples. They got to be really into the idea, because this building serves a lot of purposes. It serves a lot of people. Now, mornings can be a little slow here in the current schedule of how things have been. It's all up in the air. We can figure things out. But I've been doing breakfast at the View, and then the main meals here, and then dinners here. So the point is that activity is not compatible with sleeping, and it's also difficult to have happen in the space you live. Luckily, in this case, one place is up there, one place is over there, but this is also a production kitchen. And so until I build the other kitchen, there's going to be a lot of kitchen things going on here in the day, and it's quite possible that the right people to be lodge hosts, or to be living here actually, rather than being a host, is kitchen people. It could be that both those people are kitchen people. Both, all four of them. And then, of course, food is such a critical system that they have helpers as well. So that's that's the actual use for this. So people, if they ask me like, would you rent out the lodge? I'd be like, no. My shit's all laying around. That should change too. It's very hard for me to change at the moment, but it's not that hard to change really. Some boxes and put shit in, boxes and stuff. It's actually a great space. The nighttime lighting should be improved, and that is not for people, that is for video. So we want to maximize podcast location, lighting up, have dance parties. It's going to be a social space with a big fire at night. The nights are very cold here. We do go to bed pretty early normally, but especially in the winter, the nights are so long. And this is such an awesome spot. I mean, look at that fireplace. Sometimes you do get it roaring, I do need to build a metal structure for it, or have built. I need to draw it up. I had one built for the casita fireplace where there's hooks, and you can hang pots. So they're kind of out of the way, but they really get a lot of heat and they'll boil. And so that's a way to multi-purpose your fire. And this one doesn't have that. And some people might say, oh, that will mess up the aesthetics of it. If something's more useful, it's aesthetically more valuable to me too. I love to see the beauty of utilitarianism. So, we done with the tour yet? I did some up. There's a bookshelf over there. That should probably be a bookshelf that is stuff that is a few coffee table type books and some training materials, things that people should read maybe when they're first here or something. But it's a very high traffic bookshelf, and so it should have the stuff that is relevant to the most people who come through here and are part of this experience. There's a little Krishna painting, paper mache mask, food storage. The rest of it's all pretty pragmatic, a storeroom, and a kitchen, which needs a better countertop. All in all, a great building. I've had group meetings here. There was some kind of a bio dance maybe. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I'm gonna relax here for a few minutes. Bye. Welcome to the Black Deck. The Black Deck is on the north side of the lodge. It was a triangle when I got here, a triangle of stones, and there's a stairway here and a way out there to a trail. And then I put in, and there's a cistern here. This is a cistern underneath a big metal cap, ridiculously overbuilt, but kind of cool. And then a really heavy stone thing. So it's really hard, a concrete thing. It's really hard to get in there. We fill up excess water from over there and we put it in here, and then we use it like this time of the year for plants because they're all thirsty and stuff. Are you gonna be able to see this place if I show it to you? I hope so. So there's the way into the lodge porch. This goes a really nice round stairway down into nothing, and then this trail goes off towards the lodge. Up here, a trail goes back from the lodge. This is a very intense place. Oh, and the trail comes up from the bird bath over there, down there where you'd park a car. So this is very transportation centric right here. I thought about putting a kitchen in here because I need a large production level kitchen. And I thought I'd put it on the other side closer to where I have spaces for people to sit and eat. So I'm not sure what happens here. I do want to do a large building behind the lodge. I want it to be like 3 stories tall, and I want it to be like, as we experiment and learn, I want it to be a really useful building. Maybe have a root cellar down at the base and stuff. I'm not just totally sure what happens up there, but right behind the lodge, we're going to increase the footprint of this general area. In many cases, we're just planting more trees and we're going to do terracing and things, and it's really relatively natural. Of course, most of it's just going to remain totally natural. But off of here, it's just begging for something. You know, there's no view to speak of. It's in a very high importance area, and so it's tempting to build off into this direction. You know, to just start, design first a building that kind of like there'll probably be an upper layer here, and that could be a very nice private deck. Also, it could have both sun and shade, which is awesome, and it might be connect this building over here. Could get a door from the inside of this, but that's not even worth it the way it is. So I don't like remodeling things. Remodeling things is essentially extremely expensive, and even like this roof is going to have to get replaced because these beams are rotting very slowly, but they're still rotting. So building off to this direction seems like a cool idea. I'm not sure what it would be. It might even arrive all the way out. I've got a building site way over there that I want to build with one of the really cool design buildings I've done with like totally all systems are perfect and everything. And it's possible that there could be, although would that want to connect to here or would that go in that direction? I don't know. These are just tough things. Luckily, you know, nothing's going to happen here real quick. I don't got the money to do that much. I do need to do better with all my projects. I need to make a spreadsheet and categorize them in all different ways because what people want to support is going to vary. And my interests are so varied that I sound scattered and confused, but I'm not. I'm confused by the complexity of it. I'm not confused by the goals, and I'm not confused by many of the design rules I've learned, and that I'm not confused by the communication I have with the forest. You know, not like weird woo-woo communication, but this interplay between, you know, changing land use and seeing how people could fit into it. So my thinking is that you know, I don't like buildings being near each other. I'm not sure if this is exactly the right spot to try and connect to that building or not, so we should skip that. But something right out here would probably be good. I still get to keep these pines. Anything that gets built up here should have to be able to withstand a pine tree falling on it, because I'm not willing to cut these pines right here. These pines are a windbreak, and so I need them for what they're doing. So anything built out there would be kind of to support something happening here, and I don't know what's supposed to happen here. What's that? Big, long, rambly thing to get to the conclusion. I do not know what to do with the black deck. There was some people roller skating on it, roller dancing, and that was kind of cool. But it's a little rough now that it was just has a veneer of concrete. It's breaking. And then going up from here, like I said, I want to put a thing up there. There's laundry lines back there at the moment. There has to be a whole trail here, and this trail needs to be moved, and it has to go into Alicante. Now, I'm not sure if that should go from up or down, or make a circle or something, but somehow you got to get into Alicante and out of it really well. And this is the entry to a very important spot. It's even possible that the flat spots we're talking about making down there should be big enough to actually allow for a vehicle to come up to this deck. Why would we need that? I have no idea. It's just a design thought. The area below it has some swings, the area with the pines over here. So I haven't figured out totally what this is for. I think probably its best use is to improve the trail that goes through it. That's probably the best use. Improve the trail that goes through it so that people don't walk by this building when they can walk on the trail. That is brilliant. And that also means that one of the things I should think about is, as I flatten this area over here, kind of have a very strong guide in that direction, kind of flatten down between the pines. It won't hurt them. And then we can plant pretty plants up above it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what we'll do here. Mayhem hangs out with me and does not understand what I say. But she still hangs out with me. And there's Boogie. They're just laying around. That's their life. My life's talking to a camera, I guess, at the moment. This is a coralline over here. It's a red flower. Very graceful. Has a very pleasant curve to the kind of, I don't know what you call that shape. It's almost like a red Christmas tree or something. And then they have these bright red, these ones have bright red beans that that you could actually make jewelry out of. There's some other beans that are toxic that I do not want people making jewelry out of. They actually are like deadly toxic under certain circumstances. These are fine. Don't eat them. Somebody did that. They cooked these seeds and they ate them. But don't do that. Just don't do weird stuff with plants, please. It's just, I can provide lots of other adventures, and you getting sick is not the one I want. So that is the black deck. Do I have anything else on it? You do look at, I talk about cutting down trees and stuff a fair amount. This pine tree right here is pretty straight, and that's good, because if it was leaning towards the house, I'd cut it down now while it was young. Because what I don't need is a bigger and bigger pine tree threatening the house. This is an odd spot for a pine tree. I kind of have other visions for here. There's a madrone over here. It's maybe okay. I don't like pine trees close to the house very much. They make me very nervous, because I've seen them fall down so many times, and they get hit by lightning, and just don't trust them right there. So that guy, I don't know. Luckily I've got lots of directions I can have him fall, and we can control how we cut a tree, and we can usually control how it falls. Almost always. We very rarely make mistakes. We being a team of guys who knows what they're doing more than I do, but I'm pretty good with the guess. But the execution is always an adventure every time when you're cutting down a tree. It's the most dangerous thing we do here. So I'm going to wander along. I'll see you around. Let's take a moment to appreciate something kind of neat. Just off the black deck, there's this 3 stumps. It looks like we cut down an oak here. It was probably because it was towering over the whole space and dropping leaves onto this roof, which catches water to drink. So we cut that down probably pretty early on, and it took a while, it looks like, but it has these really windy oak branches coming out of it. In other words, oaks often don't die when you cut them down. And so of these 3 trunks, one of them has windy, it's twisted up as heck, oak branches coming off of it, and all those are going to become really thick like a bramble. You're going to see this in the future. It's just going to last for hundreds of years, this little experiment. The other trunk just has some epiphytic cacti on it, which is kind of cool, because I don't recall putting them there. I don't know if my plant friend knows they're there or not, but I want to make sure we reproduce those, and they go all over the place. This one's even flowering. It has a tiny red flower on it. It's kind of hard to show it to you. But it's a really thin cactus, just kind of draping down. So not a bad little thing right here. This is worth cutting some brush around it so you can see it better and appreciate its nature. We don't need to cut down this other oak right here. It's like a Y. We could actually do something sculpturesque with that too. Like we could put a big stone into it and then wrap the branches slowly around the stone, or even a stack of stones, and do them as big as the tree can handle. And then the tree will grow around these stones in a really cool way. Or it might just crush them. I don't know, but I barely care. This is like plant sculpting potential experiences. I did just talk to a great local friend of mine, and he's been a stoneworker before, and he's quite a creative guy. So, look at my stuff in a bucket here, because I don't have a backpack. And so 5-gallon buckets are super useful. This is a lot of stuff to do. I can't use the cane and carry the bucket and do the camera. Too many things. Yar. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yar. And then behind me, in the spot off the black deck, I've got a capulene tree growing, and some of these big leaf things with holes in the leaves. I forgot the name of it. But the capulene needs to go, and that's because we have capulenes all over the place. And so whatever this is, it's useful for something better than a capulene. The big leaf things are just fine. And they'll get a little more space and love, and oh, there's some cacti in here too. We're just growing things in odd spots. It's just great because we never know what's going to work. You can't plan these things always. You gotta have a system in which you can try a bunch of stuff and then see what works for you. Yeah, backpack is the way to go. I don't think hauling objects around in 5-gallon buckets is really up to my speed right now, but that's where we're gonna try. There goes Mayhem. She likes to walk with me, but I don't walk as fun as before because I used to go a lot more places. She mostly doesn't care. This is the trail that goes up the south side of Alicante, right here. You notice how it's all grown over with these grasses. These are non-native grasses. I'd like to just kill them all in here. They pioneer any land that's exposed. And that's not bad. I mean, it doesn't hurt the soil. It's actually a good thing. But what we want to do is later have specialized spots. And of course, there are going to be a canopy of trees that will grow up in this area that will outcompete them for light. They like a lot of light, tons of light. And so we can beat them. We've beaten them before in different spots. But they're always going to be something that comes to us to fight us. I'm using harsh words for a plant, but that's how they are. I mean, they'll just take over, and I got other plans. They aren't even native, although I'm not one to complain about that. So, oh, there's so many opportunities down here. Okay, this is too hard to walk and talk to you. I gotta go. Bye. So, I'll probably be losing weight soon because no one's cooking for me magically anymore. That was a fairly good agreement overall, I hope, for everybody. But I got fed and taken care of for quite a while, and I'm on my own now. And I made it 2 nights, and this will be my 3rd night. And I haven't actually had a meal yet because I don't really cook things. But I got some stuff from the lodge, which is good. And I'm eating peanuts a lot. These are peanuts. And, that's very dense food, so that's good. I suspect I'm about to lose a lot of weight because I don't think I give a shit enough to cook or anything. But I like food. I'm not against food. I have to look at my pans and my situation for cooking. There's mouse shit on my cooking counter. I mean, it's just it's like not a good space. So I can improve it with a tiny bit of work probably. I'm looking forward to losing weight actually. I think food is such a crutch for people. I mean, I have really hardcore views about things that I shouldn't say, really not into music. Music annoys me mostly. I understand why it's great, and I'm trying to like it, and um, but as a concept, barely on board. I do really appreciate that it's such a social force for people, and I really like that. I think I love how music brings people together, and I like it when people sing together, and that's cool. Um, but I don't know. It probably has something to do with how I was raised or something, but just not that into it. And in the same way, I feel like food for a lot of people becomes this bizarre obsession, and I think I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but oh well, that's what I think. So what can I do? Uh, I think we're animals. We evolved to eat food, and we like food. Food's very good. Um, I would like some food actually. I'm really hungry right now. Yeah, something other than peanuts. Yeah, yeah. Fuck. Well, when the sun comes up, I'll think about making some food. Uh, I don't like our relationship with food in general. I feel like we're killing ourselves with food. I feel like food is poison. I feel like food is sometimes in a role in our lives that is not good. And I don't think that should be much of a stretch. In fact, we can investigate that. We can think about the ways in which we're poisoning the planet with our food. We could look at the ways we're poisoning our bodies with our food. We could, I know it's a hot topic. It bothers people. Think about, question anything about the stuff you stick in your what is it? Oh, there's a sci-fi thing, and they called the mouth a something hole. Food hole? Maybe. Anyway, I think they were anti-kissing, and it was a science fiction thing. They call it a food hole or something sounding grosser than that. Anyway, so I love the idea of loving food. That's great. Kind of. I think about kind of the same thing as fashion. Like the way that people deal with food is this fetish that they have over something that should be fairly pragmatic, and they attach it to all of their emotional life, and food becomes this multivariate symbol of who they think they are and their attachment to the momentary experience that they would like to have. And I find that to be a short-term thinking, ignorant, unhealthy way of being that destroys the entire planet and yourself. So that's why I'm not that into food. I, on the other hand, am very much a proponent of like somehow fixing food and our relationship with it. It sounds really cool. I literally have bugs falling on me from the ceiling. There's these weird little bugs. There's one right there. Fucker. And it's going to fall down on me. And then I'm going to go, oh, there's a bug on me, and that's annoying. And then I will squish it with my fingers, murderously killing it, and throw it away. No, I don't scoop it up, I mean, this is happening like, I don't know, 20 times a night. I got to figure out, what bugs these are and what nests they have and why they're here. Because I'm not really a big fan, I have no idea what I was just talking about before. I'm exhausted. It's middle of the night. Oh, the sun will come up again, apparently. So that's good. Maybe I'll make some coffee or something. Well, when I start my days with coffee at, what is it, like 3 in the morning or something, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what time it is. Oh. No, it's 1:18. Oh man, I can't even look forward to a sunrise very soon. I feel great. Well, I need some water. Everything is difficult to get to. Just being a wuss. I can do it. I'm now a functional person again. I drank some water earlier and there were bugs in it. So I spit it out over there. It's a big gulp too. Kind of funny. Oh, so maybe today I should work on making my life a little more comfortable or something. Because apparently I'm going to have to take care of me or something. And oh, I did eat an apple. Was it yesterday or the day before? The day before. So basically, I'm not eating food. I'm not currently eating food because no one is cooking for me. And I do have some canned foods, so I think I might look at those. And often I've eaten tortas. I like to go to town and get tortas. That's my primary method of substance because they finally opened a torta shop in Yotatiro. Before they opened the torta shop in the torta shop in Yotatiro, I was very hungry. And there's other food services in Yotatiro available generally that weren't there before. So before that, I actually lost a lot of weight for a while here. I was alone for some time. And it really depends on the timing and like who's here and who's willing to cook anything or not. But my problem isn't so much that I'm not willing to cook. It's that I don't care about food unless someone sticks food in my face. I'm fine with raw food diet. That's cool with me. I'm fine with a vegan diet. It's cool with me. I'm fine with a mostly vegan diet that has some chicken eggs in it. That's cool with me. I'm fine with a vegan diet. I guess you can't call it a vegan diet anymore. We've lost that train. But if there's some, an egg or two a day, I think takes care of all your meat protein needs. I think it's a magic object that is, I'm very pro-chicken, but I'm also very pro-chicken at the home level. I'm not a real big fan of the industrial chicken. I think that, chickens are fun. They're good to get to know, and I think you should have one in your house. Be great. If you can work it out. They're really fun animals, and I have whole thoughts about, entire chicken system, the entire chicken ecosystem within your neighborhood, and hopefully we'll also call that your group of friends, because I think you should befriend your neighborhood, if you didn't do it already. And so I have big thoughts on every part of the chicken system. You can read about those if you care about them, but it's a way for you to get off the kind of meat grid in a way. It's a way for you to have animal protein in a simple way where you're at. Now, it may not be for you. I've never really spoken about that or even thought that much about it. Chickens may or may not be right for you where you're at, but I think you can wonder about how to fit them into your system. Weather matters a lot. They do come from a very hot climate. They descend from. Do you know where chickens come from? Do you know what they're evolved from? And if you got, there are multiple great answers. One of them is dinosaurs, which is totally cool. But in this case, I was going for red jungle fowl. Red jungle fowl. It's a bird that comes from Indonesia, and it looks like a chicken, because that's what chickens are. Like, dogs come from wolves, while chickens come from red jungle fowl. Now, it's possible that they, like scientists who give a shit about crap will argue about maybe they came partly from from green jungle fowl, which is possibly true. I don't give a shit at all. I just don't care. Anyway, chickens came from somewhere. And for whatever weird reason, this particular bird is a unusual bird. I actually have kind of a thoughts and rules about not caging birds because I'm against it. But in this case, it's a really weird bird that is domesticated by us over a very long period of time. And I feel like the home raising of chickens in some way that the chickens don't seem to be bothered is a great and okay thing. So I guess I'm not a vegan. I'm kicked out of the vegan club. That's okay. Uh, yeah, well, if I'm not vegan, I'm not vegan, and I hope vegans are not too unpolite about it. Some of them are, cute chicks who aren't fat. So that's, benefit of veganism is cute chicks that aren't fat. Um, Really extreme, like, focus on veganism. I sort of consider kind of like, it reminds me so much of evangelical Christians protesting abortion clinics. That's the group that they most remind me of, because I have intimate knowledge of those kind of groups, and I was younger as a child. And vegans know that you are committing murder because of the way you eat, and so essentially, you're the most evil thing there can be. You're like a doctor that performs abortions, or a woman who gets abortions. So you're pretty evil, and they've decided that, and there's no real conversation that's going to occur with really that kind of vegan, because you are already considered a murdering asshole, and there's just nothing else. And you must repent, and you must stop your behavior immediately. So, any eating of meat, according to a vegan, is very, very bad. Uh, and and that, even for some vegans, goes to all products related to animals, which is interesting. Um, I don't recall any vegans who care as much about people as animals, but people also matter, and people also matter. Do I even have to say that? Apparently I do. Oh well. Um, the treatment of people is not real great, but people only intermittently care about that, really, and not really. It's too big to care about. It's too much of a struggle for people to understand the nature of oppression in all of the world and how we live. So, oh well, that's how it goes. It goes, it goes, it goes. Oh, I wish it was going to be sunrise. This is why I need a more comfortable place. Although, like right now, what do I want? What do I want? I want food. I'm really hungry. Not hungry. I'm bored. See, that's the thing, that's the kind of piggish attitude we have. Is like, I don't have anything to do. I should have some magic food show up and go to my stomach. Be in my whatever hole. What is this? What is this? What's an offensive name for this? Pie hole? That's not very offensive. That's funny. Food hole. I do like food hole. I mean, it's just real simple, right? That's a great nickname for your mouth, food hole. Maybe that is from that sci-fi thing I saw. It wasn't that. I don't recall it being that great of a sci-fi thing. Maybe it was satirical. I forget. But oh my gosh. Oh. See, isn't this why you have a girlfriend? I think it is. Because then this time in the morning you roll over and bug her and wake her up and have some fun. And that's not going to be happening here. So, oh, water. Water would be good. I would take water. I got to go get it. Damn. Oh, it's all fine. I'm getting stronger by the day. I got my cane, and I'm using it totally. And I am walking around, and I could do better. I could do better. Like I'm tired though. It's actually difficult walking on trails and stuff. I did walk to the lodge today, which was great, and that's 200 meters down, 200 meters back. That's 400 meters. That's what it is, and that's all I did today for walking. Um, could I have done better today? Yeah, I could have. But the physical world does not motivate me very much. Oh shit! Fuck! I did not feed the dogs last night at all. I completely spaced it. Oh, I bet they knew I didn't feed them because they're really focused on food. They're really good at thinking about food. Well, damn, that's very, very bad. And I'm all up here in my wooden tower, not giving a shit about dogs. Oh. Okay, well, I can't feed them right now. It's like, it was 1:18 in the morning a little bit ago. So, although they'd be up for it, if they were going to vote, they would say, yeah, Brian, come down. Like, feed us. Fairly difficult. There's like the light bulb out there doesn't work. And that's just an excuse. I could do it. I have a headlamp and shit. But it seems like an inconvenient time to feed dogs. I mean, like right now, everything is quiet, and this is rare. Like there is so much noises here at night. They're like coyotes and dogs. Those are two of the main noises. Whippoorwills were just going off in the middle of the night. Whippoorwills, which I like. The owls were going off the other night, which was nice. I like the owls. They have a great sound. One of the best sounds at night. And air is still, so there's no storm. There's no wind in the trees, which can be quite loud. There's storms here sometimes. And I'm kind of in this shed, basically. So whatever happens out here, I hear it a lot. Woodpeckers will come in the morning and wake me up. They're going to bonk their heads on the side of the building, and they're trying to eat the building. And they are, slowly. And it's like, this is just going to end up being a bunch of patched boards or something holding the building up. There's other sounds tonight. Oh, crickets. Occasional donkey from town, but that's quite rare. That happens more in the morning. There's a lot of morning noises. So, roosters go off in the morning, and you can hear them from town. And when I have them, you can hear them here. I don't have a rooster at the moment, but why am I talking about night sounds in the middle of the night? It's because I'm confused. I woke up from an extremely intense dream that I'm gonna skip telling you about, but it was interesting. And my dream world's awesome, actually. I mean, intermittent these days since the accident, it fucks shit up. I don't know if I bonked my head or something or what, but I had a better connection with my dream world before the accident, and the accident interrupted it, and that annoys me. I still have it, and I can build it again, but it's like a muscle, I guess, that I think I sort of lost or something. I don't know if I just bonked my head and got brain damage or something. I don't know. But my dream world was far more interesting before, and I think I can rebuild it because I'm very much a believer that it's like a muscle. Your ability to remember your dreams, and I believe the dream world hasn't reduced. I think my recall has been damaged. That is my thought. I believe we might all, and this is just a theory, and you can compare it in your own world. I think we all have very intense dream worlds, and that what we don't have is a good ability to remember them. and that we only remember dreams if we're woken up in certain ways. If the interruption, our interruption from the dream world, our leaving from the dream world is managed better, then we could actually have a greater dream world. And that's kind of a weird thought. Like, sleeping is for sleeping, right? It's for health, and you need to sleep for some weird reason. Your brain needs to reorganize all your memories, your perceptions into your memories, and it's your brain's operational downtime to do things. But at the same time, we have the ability to remember that reorganization process. We have the ability to experience it. And so, people talk about going into space, or you can try and go to the bottom of the ocean, which is fairly difficult. And you can get really into various forms of thoughts, philosophies, causes, where the hell you want. But one of the most exciting adventures that is accessible to you and is really inherently interesting to you, it is your alternate universe laying around, is your dream world. It's right there. And so I recommend people explore the dream world, but understand that, like with everything, people try and be dumbasses about it. Your dream world is not the mystical place where you get to claim some authority to interpret anything, okay? It's just, dreams are not, your replacement for tarot cards, astrology, or any other pseudoscience bullshit you can come up with. Tarot cards, I'm not insulting tarot cards entirely. They're really nice art. But whatever. The point is that don't mystify your dream world. It's already mystical on its own. It's this astounding thing that is totally related to you. It's a custom movie. It is your way to have greater understanding of who you are and what you're thinking about, because it is your thoughts. Your dream world is made up of your thoughts. It's an alternate universe just laying there for you to access. And you can do it. You can actually improve your access to the dream world. I have done that in my life, and it's been really interesting. The dream world is not as important as what appears to be this, crap everywhere. But because it's not real. It isn't real. It's the result of the reorganization of stuff in your head, that, neurochemistry stuff, and you're a biological being, and that's what occurs. And you're just a fancy enough being to be able to ascribe great meaning to it. But your animal's dream, my dog's dream, okay? When they're sitting there with their paws and they're chasing some dream squirrel or whatever, I don't know what they're doing in their dreams. I would love to know, actually. I'd love to know some dog dream action. I don't know. They're crazy guys, and what is their fantasy world, My dreams are so detailed, and they have lessons for me. They have moral lessons for me. They teach me what my fears are. Apparently I have some. And they teach me what my visions are, my fantasies. So the dream world is something I'm very interested in. And I guess I, just like my legs, I got to rebuild a little bit. And again, I say it's a recall problem I think I'm having. And I do wonder this. This is a really good idea. Dreams happen at certain parts of this sleep cycle, right? And normally people are trying to sleep during the sleep cycle. But I wonder about purposefully having a device. This would be a great device to invent, that wakes you up at the time when you optimally remember your dreams the best. It could be like when you're in REM sleep and you're reaching the end of your average REM sleep time, right? That you normally would have REM sleep. Is that when you have your dreams? Am I wrong? I could be. And then it wakes you up, okay? It does a little electrical thing to shock you a tiny bit, or it buzzes some noise or something. The point is that you're interrupted very simply and briefly out of your REM sleep, and the goal is to increase dream recall. I mean, I can think of all kinds of other ways to increase dream recall, right? Like we could have maybe they'll invent a drug that increases dream recall. I don't know. Maybe they're able to, put monitors on our head and see our dreams or something. Neat. But that isn't there yet, and so we have an immediate right now connection, without the technology, to improve our dream recall. Now I also lucid dream, so I can affect my dreams during the dream, and it's not some magic thing. I don't stand around in my dream like a guy with a magic wand and say, "Oh, this will happen, this will happen." No, I can, if a dream is going bad, which I used to have bad dreams a long time ago, I can kind of change it. I can just veer it away from that. That was one of my earlier experiences. It was back in college and stuff, and just altering your dream world. Knowing you're in the dream world is one part of it, like realizing you're in a dream, and you can do that, and then choosing some way to affect it. And sometimes that's real specific. I mean, like the stereotypical, like I go fly around or something, and yeah, I've flown around in dreams, but not much. It's not my goal, really. Sounds nice, but I've I've been able to just affect things in dreams enough so that the dream becomes more interesting. I can definitely keep a good dream going, and that's very useful. Like I think dreams are very fluid. It seems they just change quickly to things. But I think one of the nicer things in lucid dreaming is that you can be enjoying a dream. Like it's a really cool environment, and I have some dream states that some are recurring, but I have a lot of Seattle dreams basically. But I can keep those going a little bit. It's really weird because the Seattle in my Seattle dreams is not the real Seattle. It's not at all like what I experienced. It is sort of based on it in some science fiction, strange, made up dream world version of the Seattle I lived in. So for me, Seattle's become this kind of mythical place, right? I've been gone so long, I missed it so long, and so it exists very intensely in my dream world, but it's changed so much. My memories are still fine. I remember the real Seattle, but there's this whole dream Seattle manufactured inside my head that I've been in many times. It's a recurring state, recurring place, and I've been in like Pike Place Market in the future, which is odd. I didn't never hang out at Pike Place Market very much, but I certainly went there many times, and so I've been there in my dreams, and it was just part of passing through from one place to another. So there's like a dream Capitol Hill, there's a dream Queen Anne Hill. I haven't surprisingly had that many dreams set in the U District, and it's odd because I spent a lot of time in the U District, University District. But I haven't had a lot of dreams there. My dreams, I think, are from my 20s. There's a version of Seattle in my 20s I left when I was 37, so basically about 17 years or so, I would say. There's a Seattle that I drove around, that I partied in, that I knew people in, and it was really fun, and it was, the formative years of my young adulthood or something, and I think that's the one that gets converted into this very complex dream world that I keep going back to, and I've had, good dreams there, bad dreams there. I don't, what's the difference? Well, there are differences. There's definitely nightmares and there's pleasant dreams. My dreams are usually neither. They're kind of a adventure thing that occurs. I mean, I've been walking around Seattle with no shoes on. I've gone to great parties in this fictional Seattle. And what was really weird recently is I went on Google Earth, and I went to go look at where my house was in Seattle, Fay Abbey, and there's now a brewery. I think it's a brewery near the corner, which I'd like to go have a beer at. That'd be awesome. I mean, it's right there next to my house. Jeez, if I still lived there, I would go there and have a beer. And then, but what was really freaky was I walked out in Google. No, it wasn't Google Earth. It was Google Street View or something. Or, yeah, you go look at pictures on the street. And then I walked down the street and I went around the corner and stuff, and everything was changed, almost, and big 6-story buildings and stuff. Dream Seattle, yeah. I got dreams here too. I got dreams all over the place. I should probably write some things about Dream World. I guess that, there's too much crap written that isn't useful, so it discouraged me from writing much. But I think the basic thing it comes down to is that you have a dream world, right? And you have access to it. So it's really fun to connect with it. It's free. God damn it. And so it's not that hard, I guess. It's an easy hobby, is to be a dream world adventurer. I bought this big light. It's just so insane. I think I put that in the video earlier. It's 44 watts. Oh wow, God, that light almost killed me. And then this light's now dying. See, light bulbs go bad. If anybody ever wants to know why I need money here, it's because light bulbs die. And I don't even have that many of them. What I need to do is get some more of the motion sensitive LED lights. I really need them. Because I need better quality than the ones I got before. Because the ones I got before, the longevity was very poor. And it sucked. God damn it, I'm still hungry. How do I get food? Fuck. It's middle of the night. I should have food just like right here. Laying around. I have peanuts. I'm so sick of peanuts. I ate a bunch of them, and they were fine at first. But man cannot live by peanuts alone. So, oh well. I gotta go think about things like food. I could cook some food. It seems pretty weird to like cook it. It's probably like 1:30 in the morning now or something. Look, it's 1:48 in the morning. I try to think I'm not controlled by convention very much, because I'm not. I have the freest life I know of anyone. Succeeded just colossally, wonderfully at breaking away from almost everything. There's a joke I'm telling myself. It's personal. It's kind of not that funny. It's kind of dumb. So, if I went downstairs, could I find food? There's no bread. All my bread molded really quickly. I don't have a refrigerator. I don't have any eggs here. See, oh, that's my problem. If I had eggs, I could just eat some eggs. Eggs are like the perfect food, really. If you want if you want to eat meat, if you're gonna eat meat, I think they actually have a word for this. It's ovo-vegetarian, like they only eat eggs or something. I never thought much about that, but that's actually not a bad option. I always ignored the term because it's not vegetarian, and so why is the word vegetarian even in it? But anyway, I agree with it. I think it's a great idea, because eggs are like the perfect meat option. They really are. Of all the meat options, of all the ways to get your if you're gonna eat animal protein, okay, then dairy's annoying. The problem with dairy is it's really weird, kind of. It keeps the animal in a state of lactation longer than they should, and it just seems odd. Like, why are we? I don't know. It sort of seems like bestiality a little bit, like like milking animals and playing with their tits and stuff. I don't know. I think I'll stick to human tits. Although, uh, they don't normally give you milk unless you're at a party and that occurs. But uh, so I'm not into dairy. It just seems odd, I guess. I I don't really like killing stuff that much. And I really think rabbits make tons of sense, okay? And I've written about that online. You can read my reasoning. And as long as you're not totally against killing things, rabbits are actually the perfect animal to raise. And you can read all my reasons on that. It's a bunch of them. The scale of it, the ecology of it, the personal experience of it, the byproducts of it. It's just like rabbits. Raising rabbits is a way to go. Colony raising rabbits, no cages and shit. And I see these things online with people who are colony raising rabbits, but it looks like a big cage to me. So I think I need to define like how I think rabbits should be raised, because I think I did it pretty well for a while. I'm not currently doing it, but whatever they're doing on from these pictures I see online, that's not what I'm envisioning at all. So, not what I did. But let's go back to chickens for a second. Chickens are animals that should be raised all over the place in almost any environment, because they get rid of all your food waste and they turn it into compost. And there's a lot of issues in that process, like how you manage these animals and how you make them comfortable and happy and how you integrate with them, just like we should integrate and be happy with dogs, right? These are animals we have integrated into our lives. I'm very into dogs. I love dogs, and I have them, and they're part of my team. They're my friends, etc. Similarly, chickens can fit into our culture. Now, I don't happen to have the personal emotional affinity for chickens. I know some people do. That's great. But I have very specific, complicated ideas about how we can re-engineer our cultural interaction with chickens to have us be able to have a mutually beneficial, positive relationship with chickens in our culture. And some people, I'm preaching to the choir. I mean, they're already doing it. But it's the minority of people. And so most people don't actually know why chickens are so awesome, and how we can propagate them, how we can incubate their eggs, and how we can grow them from little babies, cute little babies, into kind of, gangly teenager chickens, pullets, and then we can have hens, and roosters will play their part, but not their part in being so noisy, because that's really probably the biggest objection to chickens, home chickens that people have, is noisy roosters, and that's a totally solvable problem for most everyone. Not for me, because I would like to breed chickens, and so breeding chickens requires some roosters, and that's okay. I don't mind roosters. I don't mind being woken up early in the morning by a rooster. I think it's great. And sometimes, they go off at 3 in the morning, but the people do that shit too. So roosters are less of a problem than people, and roosters are cocks. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go into all that right now. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. What do? I have to go downstairs and get food. Or I could just sit here and lose weight, because I still got that, still losing weight from this whole bullshit of like being in the bed all the time, which I am right now, actually, in the bed again. Fuck it. My batteries are low, so I can't upload anything. I'm losing the ability to communicate with people because my batteries are dying. So my electricity is going out. And I have electricity during the day. My internet's dying at the end of the month. It'll shut off. I don't have money to pay for it. So I'm afraid to log into my bank, because of what I'm going to see. I have tons of debt. Almost $8,000 in debt now. My debt's growing, not shrinking. And the problem is I don't have cash, I don't know what happens. Like, what happens when I don't have enough cash to pay for my debt to the bank? Like, it's with the same bank. I mean, I guess I'm just shut off at some point. I mean, you can't just not have money and then pay for stuff. It doesn't work that way. I'm no banking expert, but I don't think that they appreciate that very much. So, uh, uh, I don't really want to say online that how desperate I am. Although I don't know how I can be any clearer. I mean, and it's no one's responsibility to do anything about it, so that's fine. I got to figure out some way to produce value for someone, and yeah, make $101 on Patreon a month. That is not enough to live on. That doesn't even pay my debts. Like, interest on my debts doesn't even pay that. Doesn't pay for my internet. Doesn't pay for nothing. So, yeah. I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow. I wish I was asleep. Wish I was in dream world. I prefer it there. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Sounds cool, but dream world is really weird. It's like often disturbing, actually. I don't have nightmares. Like, I had nightmares when I was a kid, pretty intensely. And what's odd is I remember a couple of nightmares. I don't know if I should. I guess it's too scary to even tell you. But there's a few nightmares I remember because I decided that was so scary I'll remember forever. And what's interesting is that, and this is the oddest thing, they're not actually scary at all. Like, the scariest ones, nothing scary actually happened. It's not like, a monster chasing me or something, and, whatever. I don't have a lot of those kind of dreams. One of them, I don't know if I can tell you about them. They're disturbingly simple. And I could actually probably paint them. I could make 2 paintings that were my worst nightmares, and you would look at it, and it would not seem like a nightmare to you at all. It would seem totally fine, and you would say, with one of them, you would say, "Oh, what a nice, pretty picture. That's a very nice, pretty picture." You would love it because it would be understandable to you, and it would be, you would like it. The other one, if I painted it right, would be really scary, actually, to me. It would be, I don't know if I'd paint it the way it happened. I could paint it more scary. It was just, it was the look of an old woman. And I was in the countryside, and I was looking for something. And I think a crime had been committed. And there was a whole bunch of plot to happen, dreams and shit. And I arrived at this country place, and I spoke to this old woman, and she gave me a look that told me that she was the person who had killed the other people. And there was this other, there's a dream involved and stuff. And it was just, and there's, it wasn't like I could prove that. It wasn't like, this was going to get resolved. This was a woman who could kill and was experienced at it, and didn't care anymore. She was invincible, in that sense. And so it was just the look in her eye. That's the entire nightmare. It was just the look in her eye. That's the scary part. That was it. That was all. So I could probably paint that. And the other one, I guess I'm telling you, I'm not very good at keeping secrets, I guess. But then again, what the fuck do I care? So the other one is a very straight road with really symmetrical trees on either side. This is the painting you would like. It would seem peaceful to you, but it seems nightmarish to me. And there's something, and there's no plot in this one. It's just this one scene, too disturbingly symmetrical. It's like it's not the uncanny valley. It's the too perfect picture. And for some reason, in that state in the dream, the feeling is the part of the dream. It's not the visual. The visual is just the visual. But there's something so disturbingly ordered about it that it's deeply frightening. And I'm not going to say it's, like agitating or annoying or many other words I could use in the dream. And that's why I say it's a nightmare. It's too, not perfect, it's too symmetrical. I think it's too symmetrical. It's like different than the uncanny valley. It's like, how our faces are not totally symmetrical, and the beauty of a person is, kind of found in their oddness, that they don't look like the stereotype. I mean, our belief in beauty itself is, we have this beauty concept, and we have very specific things, and it varies slightly by culture, but not much. And about like, we like symmetrical faces, and we like certain widths of everything, and there's people who study this and measure it, like what is beauty, what's beauty. And the odd thing is that, like, I look at certain people who fit the beauty stereotype perfectly, and the problem is, there's got to be a name for this. It's like not the uncanny valley, but it's like the too perfect, but perfect's the wrong word in my opinion. So someone who fits all of the beauty stereotype too perfectly isn't beautiful, and that's surprising, because they have nothing to offer. It's like the deviation from the official beauty, the deviation from the again, I don't like the word perfection here because it's not quite right. The deviation from the ideal model, that doesn't give me what I want either. Let's just go with it, though. The mathematical beauty, we'll call it, or something. The deviation from the mathematical beauty is what actually is the beauty itself. And I would argue that, because I happen to like women a lot, and I look at their faces a lot, and I'm just a programmed victim. Oh no, I'm the evil fucking patriarchy, because I like how women look. But for some reason, I like to look at women, and don't get on my ass about not looking at men as much. I'm just, I'm the way I am, and I'm not going to, that's just how it's going to be. So, it's the deviation from the, I'm going to call it average, because really, it's the average that we find beautiful. It's the most normal, or is it? It's the most healthy. We're also programmed to, like health and stuff. Huh. I find that very confusing. But anyway, so we could even call that something, and it could be that each person, you could even measure this in each person. It'd be really fun. Like, which deviations from the average beauty standard, ABS. I think that's a type of brake. God damn, I really have gone nuts now. Anyway, it's actually a semi-interesting idea. And so, like, I happen to like certain kinds of, like, if I look at a woman's face, for example, I immediately have an attraction or I don't. And that can change really quickly based on what their apparent character is, right? Who they appear to be. And so, but I'm interested in that, like, based on my early intimate experiences with women and then subsequent other experiences, I have these impressions of what I find attractive or not. And I bet you it could be measured to some degree what my preferred deviations from the norm are. You could measure that actually if you made a bunch of facial models, which is easy to do now. You could like have a whole bunch of you could have someone pick a face that they generally thought they were attracted to or something, right? And then you could have a bunch of variations on it based on small deformations in facial features, eyebrows, nose, cheekbones, lips, and you could it's just be very subtle, and then you have someone rate how attractive they find someone, all these series of pictures, right? And then you could actually measure what deviations from the average, the official beauty average, healthy yay beauty average, and you could actually measure what beauty is for that person. That'd be pretty interesting. Because if I did that test, right, if someone made that test and I took the test, you could actually figure out what the most attractive woman to me was. I question that, though, because I find a variety of women attractive, and their facial structures differ in different ways. So it's not like I have one particular thing I like, and so it may be even pointless to bother studying like this ideal facial formation thing. Is there a way to make a model of a woman I find attractive, or is that like trying to make the perfect food? I mean, foods vary. I'm really hungry. Am I really hungry? No. Hunger's bullshit. I don't believe in hunger. That's just because I'm too lazy to go downstairs to get some food. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, there is beauty. There is beauty, and there's not beauty. And so, how would I figure out all the factors that go into that? Because I clearly make snap judgments all the time. A couple weeks ago, 6 weeks ago or so, I was driving with someone through Aronga, and this just beautiful woman walked by, and I was just immediately jolted. And that's how simple it is, It's an immediate reaction to an aesthetic thing, and this gets into art. Like, I still am confused. Like, why does some art look good and some art look bad? And I play with that with my own art. Like, why is one line good and one line bad, and why is this thing ugly or beautiful? And so, at the moment, I'm thinking about that in terms of women's faces, but it's true with everything. It's true with art entirely. Like, I'm constantly confused by it, which is why I like it. That's actually the game I'm playing. Okay, man, I'm looking at this like painting over there, Yeah. And I've been working on that painting for about 15 years. I haven't actually, painted on it for about 10. but it could be a really good painting, actually. I kind of like it. I guess that's why I keep it around, right? But it bugs me because it's not done. I could finish this painting. I could finish this painting in 2 days. Yeah. God damn it. Bugs are still falling off the ceiling on me. I don't see no more bugs. That's good. Alright, well, I'm out for the moment, I guess. I gotta either eat or sleep or do something other than this. I could thank you for hanging out with me, but, you know, you're just bugging me now. I mean, why do you keep hanging out? Like, why are you watching me? What is your problem? Why don't you go to sleep? Why don't you get some food? Give me some food. Can you make me a sandwich? It'd be really great if you could make me a sandwich. I'd really appreciate it. I don't even have any bread. These are dried mangoes here. A friend who was here about a year left just recently. That's why I don't have any food. But she left these jar of dried mangoes. Boy, they're good. Just before she left, there was mango season happening, and so she chopped a bunch up, put them in the solar dehydrator, and I mean, this is a non-small amount of mangoes. If you think about how many mangoes it took to make this, it's quite a few. Because mangoes have a lot of water in them, you know. They're sticky and liquidy. And so she left that here. And I'm kind of happy about it. So thank you, friend who did that. And also, that's just a good example of moving food from one state into another. Now, sometimes that state is time. Often you want to do food preservation. But in this case, it's also food improvement. Because I would not sit around cutting up mangoes and eating them. I don't do that. I guess my hands all gooey. Which isn't always bad, but in the case of mangoes, it is a great way to eat them. I mean, I could probably eat the equivalent of 5 mangoes just in a sitting with, you know, I mean, so if you want to turn people into like fruitarians and like change their diet, like vegans and stuff, people who are diet evangelicals, I guess, what you could do is make it easier to eat food that's healthy and good. So let's focus on offering people the solution. Oh, a scary shadow monster behind me. Look at that. Oh my god. Scary shadow monster back there. Yeah. So I'm all for that at the Bosque. We could even I guess I don't know if drying's probably not considered raw food, but I don't know, people's picky fucking definition bullshit crap things that they do about food. But you know, we can just eat good solid food here. I think that I have all these thoughts about Bosque food. The standard diet should be vegetarian, and to be fully vegetarian for vegans is to be vegan. I guess it is. So we'll offer a vegan diet here. I think we should offer a vegan diet, and that should be the standard, and that is actually a very healthy, you know, good diet to have, generally speaking. And then we'll offer these other options very easily for people who would like to have eggs in the morning. You know, I mean, if you eat 2 eggs in the morning, your mineral, protein, all your meat needs are met. So that's pretty good. And those can be hard-boiled eggs, so you can carry them away somewhere else. I do breakfast real simple, the way I do them up here at the View. And Yeah, I mean, we can just create a food culture, I guess, that fits in with values instead of desire, values instead of the ease of having whatever energy subsidized bullshit food, poisoned food that people eat. You know, we don't have to eat that. And so, in this case, these mangoes were in season. They got dried in a solar dehydrator. There was labor involved with cutting them up, and so that's a difficult thing. Now, every type of food we eat, we should evaluate in that way. I'm going to show you another piece of food here that I'm about to eat. This is a can of tuna fish, and I eat cans of tuna fish because I bought a bunch because I will eat them, and then I won't die of hunger totally, or starvation, I guess. But it's bullshit, you know. The seas have been fished out largely, and we've really damaged the oceans totally. They used to be full of food, now they're not, and it is our fault. And if I eat this can of tuna fish, it's my fault that the oceans die. It's me who's responsible for it because of my actions. So that is a thing I do that I don't totally agree with because I mean, I think it'd be great if we all took 5 years off and didn't buy any seafood and did a whole bunch of societal help and retraining for people in the fishing industries. Because when you know societal economic changes occur, it would be nice if we voluntarily had organizations that took care of people to try and help them in their transition. Voluntary was a key word there. Anyway, so I'm going to eat this, and then, you know, I wonder, like, what can I do with the old tuna fish cans? I asked it online, got some good answers. And supposedly a lot of it's fake. Like, they tested a bunch of cans, and some of the cans are, you know, have, like, soy products in them instead of tuna fish. So it's like tuna-flavored soy. You know, probably most of it is tuna. So, I don't know. I'm going to eat it. And right out of the can with no preparation, that's just what I do. If I have cheese, I eat a hunk of cheese. I just cut off a piece of cheese and eat it. I'm not against prepared food ethically, but I'm against me preparing it because I don't have time. I'm very busy. Very busy talking to you. So, anyway, I'm going to go and eat this can of tuna. Bye.